Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another Web Tools TV. And tonight we will be, I can talk, yes. Tonight we will be talking about GuestCrew. And Uttoran Sen is the founder and CEO of GuestCrew. And he specifically asked that Gail Gardner be the representative of his brand. Welcome, Gail.
Hello, Deborah.
So let's go ahead and jump in. I've used a little bit of GuestCrew, but I know nothing as far as I'm concerned. So you are the expert. Why don't you go ahead and let all of the viewers know what GuestCrew is?
All right, so it originally was a kind of a blog outreach tool, but Uttoran's created something really cool that is really useful if you want to promote a crowdfunding campaign or support a cause or get more people to an event. Anything where you would launch a startup or a product or a service. And so it's kind of like we use Viral Content Buzz and Just Retweet to ask other people to share for us. But in this case, you create a campaign and then everyone goes and logs in and says they're going to support it, but the shares don't go out yet. The shares go out on the appointed day and time.
So is that sort of like a buffer, like they're buffered in the same way that the buffer tool does it?
Right, yeah, similar to buffer. And the reason this is valuable is obviously for a launch, you want to have a big launch. But the better other reason is that for something to go viral on any platform, the system, Google or Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or wherever, the system has to see a whole lot of activity happening really fast. That's how it decides how many people to show something to. So let's say I share something and it only shows it to a few people. And if none of those people do anything, then no one else gets to see it. That's the normal way that social media works. And so this way, all these people are like saved up and they all start sharing all at once. And that makes all the platforms think, oh, look, that must be something really important. And then they show it to a lot more people.
So it's basically trending.
Right. It's basically, yes. The point is to get it to trend. And that won't save you if whatever you're doing is terrible, because a lot of people will see it and none of them will do anything. But if what you're doing is cool, it's a great cause, or it's something that's exciting to people, you get a bigger chance that everyone will see it and act on it and keep the momentum going.
Gotcha. Now, is there, I'm not an expert on like crowdfunding, things like that, but I've heard of some crowdfunding platforms, like if you don't raise everything that you're supposed to raise, then you lose it all. How does that work in terms of GuestCrew?
Right. Well, the crowdfunding part is actually on someone else's platform, and different platforms have different rules. And you are right. There are crowdfunding campaigns where if you don't raise your total amount, you get nothing. But even on that one, that's Kickstarter, if you want to make sure you get the money, then you can say that you're going to get the money anyway. It's a choice that the person who sets up the campaign makes. And I don't know the exact percentages, but I'm guessing it used to be like 5% if you took your chances, but 9% if you want to make sure you get the money.
Okay.
And this actually makes sense. Let's say that you're going to make a product and you need manufacturing. If you don't raise enough money, you're not going to be able to manufacture, and you don't want to be owing all those people all those products you can't make. And so it makes sense that crowdfunding is like that, but there are different platforms. Everyone is different. You have to read the fine print.
Okay, so Kickstarter, you're saying now, I know this isn't about crowdfunding, although it kind of relates as far as if you want to get that launch out there. But so you're saying Kickstarter actually does give you the option to get your money, but you're paying a higher percentage back to Kickstarter.
Right, exactly. It's a higher percentage. And so you have to weigh, what are the odds I'm going to raise my full budget? What are the odds I'm going to raise up to $1 less and not get the money? Of course, if you're smart, you get someone to put that dollar in. But yeah, that's how those campaigns work. And just like social media, there's an algorithm for those fundraisers too. So your fundraiser goes live, it's on the new page, and if you don't get a lot of activity right away and it drops off the new page and it never makes it to any other page, no one's going to see it.
That's where you could use the GuestCrew tool.
Right. That's why you need to use a tool like GuestCrew, But you have to plan ahead. You have to decide, okay, I'm going to launch my project on August 1st. And in the middle of June, I'm going to start getting people to say, yes, I'm going to support you, so that you have a lot of time to get a lot of people on board. And you can tell in the guest crew, when you're putting in a campaign, you can tell how many people are supporting you. And then you can go and like ask people and promote it on other sites and use viral content buzz and Just Retweet to promote getting people onto your campaign. But it's basically a campaign to push a campaign.
Okay, so now is there anything incentivized for the person sharing the tweet, or is it all just, they're just being nice and they're supporting whatever the campaign is and just sending out, for example, a tweet?
Right, they're pretty much just being nice. And this works best when there's a good reason. Like, for example, somebody I know lives in Nepal, and his house was destroyed in the earthquake. And they're in a rural area, so they've seen no support, and they've got no money and little food. And so I went to send him some money because I've known him. We've been connected on LinkedIn for 2 years. And I wanted to send him some money. And when I did, I found out I made him open a PayPal account only to find out that PayPal blocked the entire country. Because there's so many scams when something happens, they won't let me send money by PayPal. And so I asked Uttoran to do us a favor, and he actually created a Nepal campaign for him.
So then that one, you could use other sources or whatever, collect it all up on stateside or globally on PayPal, and then get the money to him some other way?
Right. Well, I don't, what happened was he ended up finding another way to do a fundraiser. And he also found someone I could send via PayPal, so I could send him some money right away. Because the bad thing is that even if there's all this money being raised, it's going to take forever for them to get the money. And I don't know how many people have gone without food, but you really don't want to have to go without food. So
no, that's not usually a good thing.
Right. And then they were having power outages, so they really needed a UPS, and the UPS was destroyed in the earthquake. And so, yeah, I could actually do some screen shares if you'd like to see what it looks like.
Okay, that sounds good. While you're pulling that up, just basic questions. Is this only a campaign like on Twitter, or is this also Facebook sharing, Instagram, LinkedIn? Are there different platforms that are supported on GuestCrew?
Well, when we bring up the screen sharing, and I've already got it up there. All right, so let me see which tab I want. Okay, so this is the campaign. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, so this is the campaign that GuestCrew created for my friend in Nepal. It's actually not for my friend. His brother and a group of riders, bicycle riders, started this campaign. And so they actually have a fundraiser on another platform, and they have so far 103,000 social reach, and 18 users have supported it. And so I'm going to scroll down just so you can see. It looks a lot like a Kickstarter. You can put images in it, you can write about it. And I really like this feature. You can actually put a donate now on GoFundMe right into your GuestCrew.
Oh, excellent.
So, right. So while he's gathering up people that are going to support the big campaign when it trips, in the meantime, people can actually donate now. And so you can get your pictures. I actually made this image for him. He sent me a bunch of pictures, and I turned the image into something compelling. And I was using that on Twitter and Facebook. And so there's pictures of the guys that are raising the money and helping people rebuild. Like in a country like this, they actually take the money and help put the house back. Right? So there's the house. And so you can do this. It's very similar to Kickstarter. And so what happens is, I'm going to show you a different one. So this one is another campaign. And you see all the buttons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no matter what you're going to do, whether you're going to create a campaign or you're going to support a campaign, you have to log in like you always do. You click account and log in. And then you get a page where there's a bunch of campaigns. And I clicked on this one. And so this one says support this campaign. And you click these buttons to share. And so if I click on Twitter, let's see how fast it'll go. So you click on the button, and then sometimes you can edit it. Okay, it's saying, the reason it did that is I've actually already shared it.
But otherwise it would pop up with a suggested tweet.
Well, yeah, it normally comes up with the tweet. See, now it's refreshed. So the Twitter went away, the Facebook went away. And so Twitter works. Facebook has a little tweaks with the API. The API just changed again, but it worked fine when I did it. Google Plus works. The ones that aren't active yet, I'm trying to get back to my other campaign. Oh, it's right here. Pinterest and StumbleUpon and Tumblr and LinkedIn. They're working all the time to get these working. People don't realize all these social networks are constantly changing their API. And as soon as they change it, everyone who has something connected to the API, it breaks and you have to go fix it. And so you just click on the buttons, and some of them you can edit, and then they go away so you know which ones you did. And so like I could try, LinkedIn was giving me errors. That's why I didn't have LinkedIn done yet. And so you just click on a button and then you'll get a screen. Yeah, that one's broken. Okay, I'm gonna back up. I shouldn't have picked that one, obviously. And my internet's a little slow. So I'm gonna try Tumblr. So the ones that work, like I said, he said most of the activity today is people on Twitter. And so if you have a strong following on Twitter, or you want to really reach Twitter, Twitter is the place to go. And so you see it went to my Tumblr, and I can log in here. And let me see if I can get it to go.
Now, when it shows percentage, does that mean that if they don't hit 100%, kind of like the Kickstarter plan,
No.
those shares don't go out?
No, it's
Okay.
just so that, oh, it didn't like that. All right. I'm gonna try one more time and then I'll give up, because for the purposes of this. Oh, I know what's wrong. That's my fault. I've had a Tumblr account a really long time, so it's got a really old password on it. All right, so there it is. And so my Tumblr came up, and I have to tell it I'm not a robot. And I don't know what I'm going to get here. I don't know.
Is it possible it's just Grow Map?
Well, yeah, I already logged in. I don't know. I'm a little lost here, but basically the way I look at it is I'm really powerful on Twitter, and Twitter is the most important one. And so I usually use Twitter. Twitter will work. Facebook will probably work. Try some of the others. Like these are the other campaigns. So I just went back to the homepage, and then there's more projects.
Now, does this work for businesses too, or does it have to be a cause?
Well, it works best if it's something that people will want to support. Like
Right.
if it's a cause, if it's an event, maybe you have a startup that you're launching or a product that you're launching. So yeah, you can use it for other things. It just, you get a lot more publicity and interaction without trying hard if it's a cause.
Right, right.
Well, I switched to this other campaign. I just wanted to show you. And so this is just to give you an idea of how well you're doing. Nothing happens if you don't make it to the end. All right, it's still going to get shared. However many have signed up, so let's say that you didn't plan ahead very well and you only have a few days. However many you can get is how many you'll get. And so like this one, I'm going to click on Twitter. And you know, since we're on video, I'm on a different computer than I usually use. So I'm hoping that I'm signed into some of these things. Come on now. So all you do is just click the button. And like I said, it's slow because we're screen sharing and we're on a Google Hangout. And
That was
it's not
perfect.
cooperating.
As
But
you said
basically-
Google Hangout, your voice changed to actually support what you were saying.
So basically just click the buttons. Click Twitter, click Facebook, click Google Plus. And the way I look at it is if they work, that's great. If they don't work, don't worry about it. Because the APIs are changing and they're having to update the site right now.
Now you could actually support this by, I imagine that you're not supposed to, and I don't know, we don't have Ann Smarty here to ask, and maybe you know the answer to this, Gail, but as far as supporting it with VCB, with Viral Content Buzz, but you could write an article about what you're doing with GuestCrew, about the actual cause or the charity, and then put that through.
Right. If someone wanted to support something more, the link is right here, and you could write a post or you could share this on Twitter. And so clicking these buttons is going to add your support to the day it goes live. But you could take that and share it. And I don't think he has sharing buttons for that. I don't see that. All right, so you can just take that link and promote it. So if you see something that's near and dear to your heart, you could jump on it. And so I want to tell you that they're doing a lot of work to get people behind the campaigns. All right, so they're running ads to build up a list of people that back the campaigns. And so then they send them newsletters about which crowdfunding campaigns are available, so they'll come and back them. And then they have another list that they're building that has social activists on it. So whenever it's a social cause, they'll send the campaign to that list. And then they have landing pages. This landing page, for example, is so that backers can sign up for the list to be able to be notified. So they'll get, they'll get behind the campaigns. And he gives them like offers and perks and discounts to get people to get on the list, so that over time, GuestCrew will get more and more powerful. It'll have more and more people getting behind your campaigns.
That's excellent. And he does have, it goes beyond the scope of what we're talking about today, but he does actually have some other business services and tools available within the website, which I'm glad he does, because somewhere he's got to be able to support his own family, his own business, in order to do all this wonderful work.
Yeah, there's actually some more things. And if you go to YouTube, I do have a couple videos there about how to use GuestCrew. But I wanted to show you this. So all you do to get started, when you come to GuestCrew, before you even sign on, it says start a social campaign.
Okay.
And it's also right here. So you can just log in and click start a social campaign. And then you just get this little form. And you put in your campaign name and your category and some notes. And then the details. And it looks kind of like a regular Word or WordPress type editor. So you can write your story. This is your message, and there's your story, and you can have a header file and a logo and the date you want it to start, and then some updates. So as you go along, just like Kickstarter, there's regular updates. You can put updates in here. And so this is how you create a campaign. And so it's actually simple to use to create campaigns.
Wow. I like that. I have a few ideas I want to try now. Well,
right. And so you have to just think about, what is it you think people would do? And I went back out to the campaign. So this is what a campaign page looks like. And so you've got the header image, you've got the buttons, you've got the story, and then you've got supporters over here. So there's Karen. Say hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
You know Karen, right?
Yep.
At Blazing Minds. And then there's similar campaigns down here. So if somebody comes there to promote one campaign, they'll see that there's others that they might want to support. And so some of these are going to be political, just so people know, don't freak out, And so everybody won't agree with every campaign, but you only have to back the ones that you believe in.
Well, and I think Uttoran is trying to work some business. I know he approached me about using it for Twitter chats, which obviously it's not a charity. So, unless you're doing a Twitter chat about a charity, but that would be more of a B2B, kind of a business type thing. So there's other options for it, but I can see your point where people are more willing to support things that have a charitable element to them. Well, Gail, thank you so much for joining us and explaining to us what GuestCrew is and how people can use it, and especially how it can be used for good. Really appreciate you taking the time. Okay, well, I just got a Skype. I'm sure that Gail says thanks for having me, and thanks all for tuning in. She just got booted out, but again, thank you so much, Gail Gardner, for representing Uttoran from GuestCrew and all that you can do, especially for good causes, using GuestCrew. So go check it out, guestcrew.com, and also search for Gail's YouTube videos, which explain some of the other features that are available on the website. Thank you for tuning in to Web Tools TV, and we'll catch all of you next week, same time, same place.